Trump administration on March 15th issued an executive order invoking the Alien Enemies Act to deport members of what it purported to be a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua. And to do so, to invoke this act, they had to draw a direct connection between members of the gang and the Maduro government in Venezuela. Shortly after that, on March 20th or so, the New York Times issued a report, a news article based on leaked information that said that there was a national intelligence community assessment that directly contradicted this claim. The director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, she was furious. She opened criminal investigations into the leaks of this material. Sometime later in April, the Washinton Post reported on another national intelligence community assessment that also directly contradicted the Trump administration's invocation of this law to deport people. But I didn't file a FOIA request until Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, cited the Washinton Post and the New York Times reporting as both an excuse to open criminal investigation into the leaks, but also to revoke Merrick Garland-era protections for journalists. She basically said the leaks of this information were dangerous and they made it harder for the Justice Department to protect the country. And I remember thinking, absolutely not. This is exactly the kind of information that should be released because we can't use classified information to hide information that's embarrassing or conceals wrongdoing. And so I filed a FOIA request for this document. And to my surprise, 7 days later, the document was released through FOIA. And if you've ever filed a FOIA request, this is absolutely unheard of. It's ridiculously fast. And I speculated, I had my own theories about why it was released so quickly. What I did not anticipate was that Joe Kent, who's Tulsi Gabbard's chief of staff, pushed for this document to be declassified because he thought inconceivably that it proved the Trump administration's rationale. So it's concerning that Joe Kent, who's also the nominee to lead the National Counterterrorism Center, can't read an intelligence report. But it's equally concerning that we know, thanks to reporting, that Joe Kent pushed for the National Intelligence Council to reproduce this assessment in a way that couldn't be used against, and this is a paraphrase, but pretty close quote, couldn't be used against Gabbard or POTUS. So we see the intelligence community officials very likely pressuring the creation of intelligence that's favorable for the president. Now, this is really important because Gabbard has also taken increased control over the production of the president's daily brief, which is the most sensitive intelligence document there is in the U.S. government. And there is a real danger to producing a PDB that responds to Trump's worldview and what Trump wants to hear, as opposed to a more objective reality. This makes us all less safe.